All right, first item, actually, first item I see, I think one person new Linda, Lower Columbia. Is this your first call?
No, this is like my third call.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Have you introduced yourself?
I did, but I can do it again because I see some new names. Hi, everyone. So my name is Linda Garcia, and I am the new Circulation Services Manager at Lower Columbia College. I believe I'm just about to finish my second month here. Wow, that went by really quick. But yeah, nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, and you came from Oregon, right?
I actually just moved here from Montana.
Yeah. Oh, Montana, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Oregon.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan, there's hope. There's circulation managers good circulation managers out there. I'm teasing Dan from Edmonds. Dan has an open rec right now for a circulation manager, since Charlie Eaton, some of you may have seen his message that he's gone on to took a job at Snow Isle. So and I don't know, is anybody else new on the call? I don't think so. Anyways, all right. Next thing I was going to mention. Oh, and I'll share my screen. Just a quick mention, something that came up at last week's Tuesday call. We talked about what is it? Circulating, the ongoing topic of circulating laptops, and Kirsty shared a link to, and I don't remember if this was a Tuesday or Thursday call, but she shared a link to a document that she had written to help sort of non-library staff circulate laptops, for example, from an IT help desk. And I posted that document on the consortium website. If you just go to wactclc.org and then go to the Alma doc section, the circulation instructions for IT desk, I've posted a copy of her document in Word format, so it's easily editable if you wanted to use this as a starting point for scenarios where you've got people outside the library, media desk or whatever, circulating stuff. If you want a starting point for some kind of easy cheat sheet documentation. And I don't know if I saw Kirsty on the call, but thank you, Kirsty, for sharing that.
I just got here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have to leave at 10:30 for another meeting.
And sort of a nod to Linda at Lower Columbia on the topic of films on demand. She recently reloaded their films on demand records into a local electronic collection because of their the 856 field. The URL of their easy proxy host changed. They went to a hosted version at OCLC. So she had to reload those, and that kind of is a follow-on to the discussion about films on demand and the community zone collections. And unfortunately, those films on demand, as I posted to the list last week, they're still, shoddy, just scaffolding records in the community zone collections that really just have title and nothing else. And we do have a ticket open about that. And I did get a name at Films on Demand for somebody to contact. So I'm going to try contacting them and see if I can encourage them to light a fire at Films on Demand and get see from the customer side if we can help persuade them to do something more complete with bid records with Ex Libris, so you guys don't have to do local collections for that stuff. And I think I'll probably point out to them. I think there's some other, I know Canopy, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think Canopy has CZ records that are suitable, and I don't know what other competitors to Films on Demand participates more fully in Ex Libris's community zone program, but those would help. Maybe if they hear competition is doing it, they might put some more attention to it. And Leslie Caldwell, I see you on the call. I saw your post about the Primo slowness, and I don't know if that's still an ongoing thing there, or if anybody has anything to share regarding that. I didn't see any responses on the list.
I think Amy responded in Amy's example of the Primo behavior is similar to what our libraries have been reporting, which is that they'll go and they'll do a search and either the facets won't show up or it won't actually happen, and then they'll have to refresh.
I had it happen just this morning, actually, the facet thing, but then also like I get a results page and I go to click on one of the results and it's not clickable. So I have to refresh the results page. But I see both of those things regularly. I saw it just this morning.
Yeah, the records not being clickable, that's happened to me before as well. I've always assumed that was plugin related.
It's usually after I've done like a couple searches or done a couple of things. And like I said, just refreshing the browser fixes it, but it is kind of annoying. I saw it happen in a class I was teaching too, which was
And
not great because the students aren't necessarily savvy enough to think about just refreshing.
It could be. Yeah, and I did some experimenting after I saw your post, Leslie. I didn't, in terms of slowness, I couldn't reproduce anything. I checked the public Primo list to see if there was any recent performance concerns out there. I didn't find anything, but
Yeah, the only one I found on Primo L was the browse. Apparently the browse is slow, browse searching, but there wasn't anything specifically like the general search.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came from, two different librarians.
Yeah.
Who had
What they were describing did sound like real response time slowness somewhere, like that might have been something going on at a particular point in time. Some of the more subtle stuff that like the titles not being clickable, that seems more a functional issue or a page rendering issue, but just the slowness in search results coming back, that's more of a performance issue somewhere, definitely. But oh, and just looking at chat, Amy, I think it's about 500 for, isn't it like an extra 500 for a hosted easy proxy?
I want to say, I mean, we have to license annually for self-host, and I want to say that's $600 or $700 a year.
Yeah, I think, I
we're
think
paying
the
close to
annual
2,000.
subscription for, yeah, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, SJ.
Oh,
Or
this is
who-
Kirsty. We're paying
Oh.
close to 2,000 per instance, and we're running 4 instances.
Oh, wow. So the prices are going up.
We
That's-
pay about $670 here, but we're a very small college. So.
Yeah, typically, I mean, for it, I thought the last price that I have in mind was, I mean, it was just a flat $500 a year for the software, and then for hosting, it was another $500 a year. But
Oh, I
that-
think it's gone up.
yeah. So yeah, which, there are, which, I guess depending on, like if you guys pay 2,000 an instance, Kirsty, and that's 6,000 a year, that starts to become a line item. It's, I don't, the cheap, the cost-free way to do it is just use the campus VPN, just, point out, and I assume all campuses have a VPN that basically allows you to act like you're on campus. And so if you use,
Yeah, don't assume that.
yeah,
The reason I was asking is that we're having more and more downtime, like just over the weekend, Easy Proxy, our local server went down, and so we started having discussions about whether I need to be on call 24/7. And no, I don't. So I'm suggesting that we look at a hosted version, because it seems, and IT runs our server. I actually don't have admin access to it. Like I can't restart it myself, and they're not going to respond to me on the weekend or late at night. So we need something that's going to have greater uptime than our own server.
Yeah. Do you guys have a VPN?
We do, but having tried to help students whose libraries use VPN only in LibChat, that gets super complicated and wonky from my perspective as a chat librarian trying to help other people's students get to it.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy, we just, SPSCC just got the hosted service this summer. And I don't know if you realize this or know this, but there's also a one-time fee for setup.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think I don't have access to my files. Right now, my IT is wonky, but I think I remember it being somewhere close to like 2,000 to have it for the one-time fee. So I'll send you an email later when I get access to my files again.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to like sidetrack this. I was trying to have like a side conversation in the chat while we were all together, but I don't want to take away from our Primo stuff.
No, and it's sort of related. I mean, it's somewhat related to just Primo usability, I guess, because it's a big part of it. It's an apparent part of Primo. And I see Laura saying her Easy Proxy is down right now at Renton, so I guess it's a hot topic.
So I want to say we switched to hosted, but we still go down when Active Directory goes down. So that's something to think about. It may not fix all instances of Easy Proxy going down for you.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. And that's very true. But like this weekend, the server just needed to be restarted. It wasn't anything in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that hosted Easy Proxy is going to be a lot more stable than locally run Easy Proxy for a lot of reasons. It's just not, it's not going to get the attention that
Well, here at Olympic, we have one IT person who runs our Easy Proxy server, and he works like a later day, like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So when things go down over the weekend, he's not even going to see my messages till 10 a.m. on Monday. And it's just getting to be a lot.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Oh, and other advantages of hosted is that Easy Proxy does get updated, at least a few times a year, the base code, and that happens transparently. And also the way the config works is that when you configure something like, ProQuest, it generally points to a common stanza. And if there are changes to that stanza, those happen more transparently because the thing that your config points to gets updated by OCLC. So some of those things that you would otherwise have to, go in and update a stanza will happen automatically. So there can be that offers some seamlessness in service. But in terms of and maybe if VPNs at the schools aren't viable, then I guess there's not, other than going all open source, there's not, or just saying you have to be on campus. That's not viable right now. But yeah, on the Primo, I don't know if either of you guys, Amy or Leslie, if you open tickets at all for those. I can open a ticket. I'll see if I can reproduce the clicking on the title and getting to the content, or getting to the detail record. That's one that happens to me occasionally. I can open a ticket for that. And also if disappearing facets, I've seen that before.
I asked the Pierce librarians, like the next time that it happened, to just like quickly IM me, and I would, do a ticket and search right at that moment. And so that's kind of my plan for next steps.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's not a way to open a ticket from within Primo.
I could tell you the search that I did this morning, where it froze on me, but I'm guessing it wouldn't necessarily freeze for you.
That's always the challenge, is that these are going to be generally inconsistent problems. And another
Actually,
thing
I just did the same search again that I did this morning, where it froze on me, and now it's not showing me my filter.
What was the search?
Here, it's just a keyword search. I'll put it in the chat here.
Okay.
Oh, there's supposed to be an S on the end of diagnoses.
Diagnoses.
Oh, yeah, see, you're getting all your filters.
Yeah. And
So.
Just one, using the back button might.
Oh, I feel like that I did notice that using the back buttons and stuff would sometimes make it not clickable.
Because that can cause possibly a loss in the context of what was going on the page. If since it's kind of it's like Alma, it's basically an application going on in here. So depending on kind of where you are in the action chain, using the back button might cause odd behavior. So and that's why they've got back to results list here. But that's you're not really going to train users out of the back button or librarians. That's
Well, and another difference is I have our Primo set up. So if you're on campus, you're automatically logged into Primo. And I don't know, I doubt that makes a difference with this, but that is one difference between what you're doing and what I'm doing is I'm already logged in.
Yeah.
And I think I made that change like a month ago, and I'm pretty sure I was noticing what Leslie's talking about before I made that change about the automatic login.
Yeah, and I mean, and Primo customizations can, can throw a monkey wrench in things. But we typically don't have a lot of customizations in our Primo instances, some more than others, but in general, there's not. This is mostly, I mean, it's just, I don't see any real, other than style customization, changing colors or font faces. That's not the kind of adding JavaScript to do things would be the kind of thing that could throw a wrench in the works. But I don't see anything. There's nothing on the Olympic. I don't see any additional. There aren't any customizations here. This drop down on the simple menu or the simple search is a JavaScript customization, but that's, or a jQuery customization, but that's pretty low impact.
While you have this up on the screen, this is a completely different question. So I was asked to do the search for our librarian because she wanted to know why we have 4 records for that book showing up there for, why there's 4 duplicate records. We only have 1 instance of this in EBSCO ebooks. And I remember we had a conversation in one of these meetings a year or 2 ago about it. And there was a downside, like you could have the system dedupe all of those, but there was a significant downside, and I'm trying to remember what it was. And I did find one email from Ex Libris that talked about deduping could potentially knock out your records for individual chapters of things, but I feel like there was a different downside that we discussed in one of these meetings. When you dedupe, you're losing something significant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like, or is this in an ebook collection? Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's just in EBSCO ebooks. All 4 records. The 4 records are obviously different, but they all point to the same database.
Yeah. So, but some of those citations might be for individual chapters, and that's where disabling the CDI for this EBSCO ebooks collection will reduce the duplication because it removes the individual chapter citations.
Okay, but so that is the downside. I knew there was one, and there was a reason that I decided not to deduplicate, and I just couldn't remember what the reason was. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and there's you've got a physical book and the ebook, and that's not going to dedupe if one of them is from the CDI.
The physical one is a different edition. It was for ebook records.
So,
and when I looked at where they were coming from, one was coming from ebook or ProQuest ebook Central, and so
so that I do see. Yeah, this citation is from ProQuest. I don't know if you own it in both ProQuest or
do not.
EBSCO.
We only own it in EBSCO.
Yeah. So I'm that. Because you're not getting a link for ProQuest, so I'm not sure. So disabling CDI for the EBSCO collection will reduce the duplication. The citation from ProQuest might be hard to. So this is from ProQuest ebook Central. The way that you would get rid of that citation is to mark, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. You would have to have the setting is, what's it called? Only matched, you only own some of the titles in the collection is the one that you want to use there.
We only own a specific ProQuest Central ebook collection. It's their DEI collection. We don't own the general one.
Yeah, yeah, DE, yeah. But yeah, so if we, yeah, this is the one you have activated.
But that nursing book isn't in that collection.
Yeah, and you've got CDI search activation set to not active. We only subscribe to subtitles in this collection. So you've already got the CDI citations. Oh, actually you don't. You would want to check this box if you wanted to turn off the chapter citations for, like in the EBSCO collections. This is the one that you would do.
Well, but we don't want to turn off chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't want to turn off the chapter, yeah, then you get some.
Yeah, I just was trying to just remember why,
Yeah.
there was pros and cons, so that explains
Yeah,
it.
and some of it, depending on how similar the citations are, like multiple citations from the CDI, if they're close enough, then they'll dedupe. But if the citations themselves actually vary, and the
One
ID
of those-
numbers.
One of
or
those
the-
records, the diagnoses is misspelled, so they're pretty different.
So that's yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, there's some chat about in regards to deduping local and CDI, you can't really dedupe. The CDI doesn't dedupe with things from Alma. So that's they just don't dedupe between the CDI and anything in Alma, which includes CZ titles. So that's not, you can't do that, Dan. Yeah, and if you guys want to talk more, deep dive into dedupe on Thursday, we can certainly do that. And there's some good documentation on the XLeader site about the key, the combinations of fields that are used to dedupe things. There's a lot of detail there. And there is, and we've looked at it before, there are tools in Alma to duplicate title analysis. Right here, you can, oh, not that one, excuse me. There's a dedupe tool where you can actually compare two records that you have and see if they dedupe or not, or why they dedupe or why they don't. Yeah, we can record that one, Leslie. I suspect that there's already probably cleaner videos of I can search for it now, but yeah, I can record the one on Thursday and talk about that. There's probably already recordings from XLeader on using that tool, for example, or explaining dedupe in more detail. Another thing going on currently is the DG5 migration to CTC link. So that's there are a couple of the earlier schools have switched over now, Skagit and Green River, and the next set comes next week. Whatcom, Bellingham, and Big Bend. And as usual, the implementation of the patron loads is going pretty slowly, so we actually haven't had any progress on the first couple of gone live yet, and I don't know. For the ones going live next week, a couple of you, I'm not sure who's on the call. Bellingham and Watcom kind of already have their own customizations in place, so that will probably be a quicker switch. Big Bend, I'm not sure what's going on there. We don't get much participation from them. I've reached out to their IT group, but we haven't made much progress yet, so that's going to continue to be slow. And then the next, I don't know who's then the last set of DG5 institutions won't be until November that they go live. So I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. Oh, am I? Oh, and another thing we've been discussing on the list of Bellevue's question about their particular, ProQuest business market research, something. I don't know if that was ProQuest business market research collection. I don't know if Nicole's on the call, if anybody else has that collection.
It's Professional Development Day at Bellevue, so Nicole is not here.
So I take it you're already fully developed, Paula, so it's not required for you. You've got all the skills already. So I'm kind of tapped out for new topics that have come up this week. Do you guys have anything that you'd like to bring up or talk about? Ask others about? Yeah, Dan asking chat what the status of vaccine verification for students is at different schools. Actually, I can tell you, Dan, that Big Bend made the decision to be a vaccinated campus, so students can't go on campus without vaccination now, or I think a medical or personal belief reason. And I don't know if they're doing verification or not. And then well, there's it seems like one area there's been a lot of activity on is just hiring. I think who currently has open positions in their library? Dan, you guys are looking for a circulation manager. Elena, I saw you. Did you post something about Skagit? Oh,
yeah,
you were doing site visits. You posted about asking about site visits to libraries.
Yeah, site visits, but we also have big changes here because we are hiring Sharon Cherney moved into Stephanie's position in tech services. And so we had a circulation position open, which is in the process of, they just got done with the search and we're offering it to somebody, but our HR is a little bit bogged down with a TTC link. And then we're just making an offer to an associate faculty librarian position. So big changes coming here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and since your mic is on, what's the, so you guys are getting a new building, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, what's the schedule? I mean, is that like,
they're starting the planning for it and they're saying in the next couple of years, but who knows, but it's going to be a new like learning. It's going to be the library, a learning commons, and our culinary department is going to move down into the first floor. And if you've ever been on campus, they're basically going to do a whole new entryway to campus on the east side, in addition to the south side. So it's going to be a really big project.
yeah. So the no food in the library rule isn't, it's gonna be hard to enforce.
Right, which is fine by me.
Yeah. Well, of course, Whatcom has a new building, so they're close by.
Yeah, we're heading up, I think
Yeah.
next week to visit Whatcom, and thanks to everybody who's agreed to let us come and visit. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the Bellingham libraries in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's right, Laura, I saw Written has a big position open. Core library position. Sound like from the job description I read, it's kind of a combination of everything.
It is.
It's certain scan cataloging, which is going to be kind of a challenge to fill, I think. Any others out there? I know, well, is that you, Sally, or is that somebody else from Whatcom on the call?
No, it's me. I haven't been here for a while. I don't know if you can hear me. Hold on. Yeah, our position to replace me is still open, but it will, I think it's winding up soon. I'm not on the committee, and I'm just an adjunct now. So I retired at the end of summer, and I only do a couple days a week. But that's
I saw you on there. Yeah, I wanted to say hi. The Whatcom position, is I happen to be on the search committee for that. So
oh, that's right.
But
So, you know,
it's that will be that's one being done. Any others out there? Any other?
Shoreline is hiring 2 librarians.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Those were, those are cool positions. That will be interesting to see what happens with those. And are people actively being interviewed at SJD now? Or can you say?
We are not interviewing yet. We are still accepting applications.
Yeah. And then I see, Tammy on the call, who's back at Yakima Valley part-time.
Yeah, I'm only working like 4 hours a week this quarter.
Yeah, so is there going to be do you know if there's any permanent hiring there going on, Tammy?
There'll have to be. Our senior librarian is retiring the end of this quarter, and our other librarian is applying for a position at the Yakima School District. So we won't have any librarians, and our person in the media center is leaving the end of October, and so that leaves us down to 2 employees.
Oh no! So I'm sorry to hear the media person is leaving. I forget her name.
Janelle, she's really great, but she's
she seemed like she was kind of liked using Alma too. I mean, she was getting into it.
Yeah, she was, but she's decided to go someplace else.
Yeah, do you know where she's going, or is she just?
She's not going to she's leaving the community college.
Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I liked her.
Yeah, she was great. I'll miss her. So anyway, Leslie roped me into 4 hours a week because I'm the only one there who really knows. I know Alma better than she does, so I'm helping out a little bit.
Well, you have your pick of positions over on the west side right now, Tammy. There's some good positions open. So if you're want to come out of retirement, and there is they're not on the call this morning, but there is a new person at LW Tech, Sterling, who is recent library school graduate. And I think they're going to be good. So that's some new blood that we'll see on the call soon, I think. They just started within the last couple of weeks. So, oh yeah, Cassandra's said that they're still got one semester left on that. No, I think it's San Jose State they're attending. Any other, Naoko, did you want to ask about, you had a question for me last week about another one of those edge case scenarios for Alma usage, or non-traditional use in like for IT departments. Do you want to ask that?
Yes, actually. We've been asked to put devices into Alma, create item records for mobile devices for departments outside of the library. And ITS is really hoping to use Alma for inventory purposes. And I just wanted to know if anyone is getting requests like that.
And this is, and it sounded like this was not for circulation necessarily, but for.
Right. So in the past, we created a few libraries outside of our main library, like multimedia program. They own camera equipment, and then we catalog them, and we trained the secretary there, and she's managing circulation. So we've done stuff like that for a few areas on campus, but recently we are getting requests to add records for items that are not checked out. And I'm starting to think, shouldn't IT handle inventory themselves? Because they're the one who are supplying those devices.
Yeah, so it's like Alma as general inventory tool for campus assets.
Yeah, sounds like that. That's kind of new to us at this point. So I'm wondering if anybody has been doing that.
At least, yeah. Has anybody? I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind. Well, I responded to you, Naoko, via email. You saw it, I'm sure that.
Yes,
I mean, generally, IT has whatever help desk software they use, like Case, will have some kind of asset inventory management tool built into it. So that's generally what they'll use for just, we have these, we own these laptops. If, I don't know to what extent cross-departmental billing is a thing in the schools, but that's, if libraries are going to do that, that's one, a cost recovery thing you could do. No, we're using our software and our staff time to do this kind of stuff now. This is in addition to what we have been doing. So somebody needs to pay for it, like kind of thing. So and if, I don't know if any of you know how your campus tracks IT asset inventory, or just, like furniture inventory, stuff like that. It seems like that would be a place where general laptop inventory would occur.
Have any of you used Alma to do inventory of your books? Leslie wants us to do that at Yakima, and I haven't dealt with it at all.
We did at RTC a couple of years ago. I have some procedures which I can email you.
That would be great. Thank you, Laura.
Will do.
So reading the chats, it sounds like most people are only dealing with the items that go out.
Yeah, and that might be that'd be a good one logical place to draw the line, right? If it doesn't circulate, then the library is
right.
not.
Yeah, I think we need to really have some sort of documentation outlining what we are going to do as a service and what we won't do.
Yeah. Because I mean, if it's just an inventory, it can just be called an Excel spreadsheet.
Right. Either central tracking system at the ITS or individual department having their own spreadsheet or something.
Well, all right, guys. Anything else for today? If not, we can plan on talking about deduplication in Primo and Alma on Thursday, and I can and we can start with some of the resources that are on the Ex-Libris website for that stuff. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We'll go ahead and conclude there, and I hope you have a good rest of your Tuesday. Thanks very much, everyone. Talk to you soon.